In Luke 22, the Passover meal is approaching, and our story diverges in two different ways. Judas goes to work out how he can betray Jesus when there's no crowd present. Meanwhile, Peter and John go and prepare the Passover meal. It's during this meal that our story reaches a crescendo. The night itself is a blend of triumph and tragedy. Jesus has been looking forward to this meal, but he also knows what lies ahead. And the meal is full of symbols, important symbols, that we must understand to work out what was going on during this meal. First of all, the people took salty water to remind them of their tears in captivity in Egypt, to remember escaping through the Red Sea. They would take bitter herbs to remember the bitter bondage they endured time after time after time. And each year, as they celebrated this meal, they would say, "Today we celebrate in captivity, but next year in the land of promise." The question on their lips as they shared this meal was, when was God going to send us another liberator, another Moses? And amongst them sits Jesus. Jesus was leading the meal, talking through these ancient symbols. But when he suddenly gets to the bread and the wine, he goes off script. He begins to redefine these important symbols. Now, the bread would have been unleavened bread to represent the hurry with which they left Egypt. But as Jesus gets to the bread, he redefines this symbol, saying, "This is my body broken for you." And then he comes to the wine. The wine symbolized the goat's blood that was slapped upon their doorposts back in Egypt, so the angel of death would pass over. And as he gets to this ancient symbol, again he redefines it, saying, "This is my blood. This is my covenant." Now, covenants were always made normally with animal blood, but Jesus is talking about his blood. This is revolutionary talk. Can you imagine what must have been going through the disciples' heads? Jesus goes on to talk about betrayal. The disciples say, "Who would do this?" And they begin to talk about which of them is the greatest. All this while Jesus is serving them, talking about the sacrifice he is about to make. The disciples just don't get it. When today we share the bread and the wine, we are doing something significant. When we take the bread and the wine, we are remembering the story that we are in. Not just freedom from Egypt, but freedom from sin, freedom from bondage, freedom from death. When we take the bread and the wine, remember the sacrifice that Jesus made, that we may know life in all of its fullness. And when we take the bread and the wine, we are signing up to join his revolution, a revolution of love in a broken and hurting world. Cheers.